If you are anything like me, you have recently woke up in the middle of the night, cold sweats, having nightmares about incorrect signal chain on your pedal board. I wanted to tell you at the outset, you are not alone. Today we are talking about your boost pedals and where they should and can be in your signal chain. Where you put your boost, possibly one of the most boring effects out there, has a massive effect on how your pedal board will sound at the amp. Today we are exploring 3 different spots in your signal chain that your boost can go. 2 of them well known, 1 of them not so much, but we're going to go there anyways. Similar to the volume pot on your guitar or volume pedal on your pedal board, a boost will either lift your overall volume or decrease it. How it goes about this is different depending on where it is on your pedal board. A boost in its purest form will have 1 knob on it and maybe a foot switch if you're lucky. That knob is simply level. It'll either bring your overall level up or down. Where it is in your signal chain will cause it to act either like a gain pedal or an attenuator, only affecting your level and only affecting your volume. So let's talk about these 3 positions we are going to explore today for your boost pedal and get into some audio examples. In order of signal chain, let's talk about these 3 positions. The first place you will typically put your boost pedal is right at the beginning, pretty close to your guitar. For this example, to keep it simple, we'll say your guitar plugs into the boost, then goes into your other gain stages, overdrives, distortions, maybe a fuzz, onto your modulation, then onto delays and reverbs, and out to your amp. In this position, your boost pedal will change how your other overdrives react. Instead of adding more volume, it will mainly add more gain. It will be like adding another overdrive to your signal chain. Stay tuned for audio examples and I'll show you this practically. The next position you will have your boost is after your last gain pedal. So now we have guitar into overdrives, distortions, fuzzes, then into your boost, then into modulation, delay, reverb, and out to your amp. Now the boost kind of lives up to its name a bit more. Instead of adjusting gain of your overdrive pedals that are currently turned on, now it will just bring the overall level up and give you more volume. Of course, this is going to change how your amp reacts as well. It might break your amp up a little bit differently, but on your pedal board, it will simply lift the overall volume of your signal. The third and least conventional place to put your boost is at the very end of your chain. In this example, after your last reverb pedal or your last delay pedal, right before your amp. Again, this will change how your amp reacts to the signal, but on the pedal board side of things, it actually had a surprising result. I'm going to show you an audio example of this at the very end. Now let's get into these 3 spots where we can put our boost. 2 typical at the very beginning or right after your last gain, and 1 not so much at the very end of your pedal board. First, I'm going to show you the clean signal, just the boost, just the overdrive, and then we'll get into the signal chain adjustments. All right, that was a long audio example. I hope you stuck with me through it. First you heard the clean, then you heard just boost, just the overdrive, and then we get into these signal chain examples with your boost. As you heard with the boost first, before all the drive effects, turning that boost on simply gave more gain to the overall signal with a tiny bit more volume. This is because you're pushing the front end of those overdrives and causing them to clip sooner. When we put that boost after the last overdrive, we're now moving more into volume jumps in your signal chain. Now there's no overdrive to push and cause to clip sooner, so we just adjust the overall volume. If you have modulation, delay, and reverb effects that aren't great with hotter signals, this could lead to those pedals clipping and it might sound pretty terrible, so always watch your boost level when you run it in the middle of your chain. Now that you've listened to those two examples and maybe made up your mind for which one works best for you, again, as a side note, neither one is right or wrong. We're just doing this to figure out what you want to get out of your boost pedal and where you need to put it in your signal chain. Now for the least typical spot, right at the end of your signal chain before the amp. I'm going to compare this to the boost after the last gain, in between gains and modulation effects, and we're going to go back and forth so we can hear the difference. I personally thought that they would sound pretty well exactly the same going into making this video, and I was wrong. Let's take a listen and see what happens. There you have it. Boost at the end has its own unique sound. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it. Put your comments below and tell me which one you like better out of these last two examples. 3 positions of boost, right at the beginning, right after your last overdrive, and at the very end of your pedal board, breaking all the rules. Which one do you like most, and where will you use boost on your pedal board? That's it for this week's video. We will see you next week for another video on the Goodwood Audio YouTube channel.